Everybody, it is December, it is a new month, and that means it is time once again to open the latest shipment from my friends at Video Games Monthly. Now, what is Video Games Monthly? Video Games Monthly is a monthly subscription service where you can get 3, 4, 5, 10, or 20 games sent directly to your front door. This isn't a rental service, you get to keep the games. They are added to your collection, you're able to curate your list, which means basically you go on their website, you fill out the games you have, and then they won't send you a duplicate. Now, it does happen, not gonna lie to you, it is a human-run service, so it can occur, but if there's a mistake, you just contact customer service. They will take care of you, send you a brand new game. So what do you say? Let's crack this open, let's free it from its priority mail prison, and we're gonna find out what's inside. And here it is, so fresh and so clean. A brand new box featuring my boy Floyd right on the cover. Very excited to get this. I've been a VGM subscriber now for about 5 years, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, somewhere in that range though, about 4 to 5 years. And I'm very, very happy to be supporting them. They're a local Michigan business, and as someone from Michigan, I like to support local. They're good guys. Joe and the team over there are fantastic. I love working with them. I love being able to show off the things that they do. Now, a lot of people have accused me in the past of being able to get a seated box, something that is sent to me preferentially. And if you are one of those people, I would urge you to go look back at some of my other videos, because that's not the case. I pay for this. This comes out of my pocket, and actually, this is directly as a result of my Patreon supporters. My Patreon supporters fund this. It's something that I do every month. With their support, I'm able to take care of it, and yeah, that's that. If you're interested in becoming a channel member or a Patreon supporter, you can click the join button below and join in that way to become a channel member, or you can go to the Patreon page and support there. Patreon supporters and channel members get early access to videos. I'm trying to do more stuff with it. I know I've been very bad about it, but we're working on it. So let's crack it open, find out what's inside. First and foremost, we have ephemera. And ephemera is always fun. I think this is oh, that's cool. All right, our little VGM giveaway this month is a Santa Floyd. Here, you can see it better like that. A Santa Floyd magnet, and I do love that. It's gonna go right there. And now we do our social card. Our social card says that if you share your experience with VGM online, you'll be entered into a chance to win a free 3-up box. That's right, 3 free games sent directly to your front door. It also encourages you, like I mentioned, to update your list. Because if you don't update your list, and you don't do what you're supposed to do, and you don't follow the instructions written on this card, you might get duplicates sent to you. Nobody wants that. Everyone wants to have new games. They don't want to have things that are already in their collection, so it's up to you to update your list. Now, first and foremost, we do a blind feel. We have Sega Genesis. We have no idea. I think that might be N64. It's NES. That is NES. And then disc-based. So Wii U? Probably. Let's find out though. First things first, we're going to do Genesis in 3, 2, 1. I can't tell what that is. Subterranea. Not for resale. No idea what this is. Let's take a look at now Subterranea on the Sega Genesis. I do like a gravitational shooter. I like the feeling of kind of floating in the space that you're in. I love Gravitar, one of my favorite games of all time. And this game here, Subterranea, is kind of an extension of Gravitar. It feels very, very similar to it, with the exception of the fact that it is one of the most difficult video games I've ever played. It's very hard to control. The biggest problem that I have found with this one so far isn't the fact that it's hard to play. It's that the gravity is almost non-existent when you use your thrust. You just kind of fly all over the place and you go way too quick. And when you run into stuff, you lose your shields. And that kind of sucks, because if it was a little bit more controlled, if it was a little bit more methodical in the way it moved, I think this would be a significantly more successful and more well thought of video game. As it is, it's really hard to play. It's really hard to get into. It's a frustrating experience overall, and that is unfortunate, because there is so much good here that could have been great, and unfortunately it just gets to just above mediocre, which sucks. The look of the game is wonderful, the soundtrack is great, and it's a really solid idea. They just didn't stick the physics, and unfortunately that was the thing they needed to stick more than anything else. Pretty cool to get a game I've never heard of. I always like stuff like that, and I do love stickers on my things, especially ones that say not for resale. I just think that's cool, you know? I think it's one of those things that kind of shows the history of the game, and I like that. All right, next up, NES game number 1. Make sure we're holding it the correct way. All right, 3, 2, 1. Pictionary. Not a big fan of Pictionary. Let's take a look now at Pictionary on the NES. We are off to an auspicious start with Pictionary. I'm not going to lie to you, because I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of Pictionary. Never have been. The board game is fine, but the video game version of it, no. It is something that is severely limited by the system it is on. The NES is not made to draw with, despite the fact that I'm sure some people have created masterpieces using this game. No, not for me. Not even kinda for me. And this game's a bit of a fever dream, right? Like, it's not just Pictionary, because there's also the weird mini games you have to use to unlock the squares to see what is being drawn. And they're hard. They're not fun. They're difficult to control. They're difficult to enjoy, which means the actual game of Pictionary itself is difficult to enjoy. Then there's the soundtrack. And the soundtrack is really good. If aggressive. It's not something that really lends itself well to a board game, video game about drawing pictures and basically playing, picture charades. But here we are. Here we are. This is what we have. Not a great game. I don't know what it is. I think it's just a case of I'm not a big fan of game show-based games on the NES or board game-based games on the NES. Like, y'all know my opinion on Monopoly. That doesn't really go past things there for Pictionary either. Not really a huge fan of it. At least I don't remember being a huge fan of it. All right, next up, another NES game. 3, 2, 1. Pro Wrestling? That is Pro Wrestling. A Winner Is You. Features Starman, features the Amazon. If you know wrestling, you know pro wrestling. Let's take a look now at one of the classic black box titles on the NES, Pro Wrestling. A winner is you, because we have pro wrestling here for the NES. This is a game that I have a lot of fond memories of from when I was a kid, because it was this, or it was the Muscle game for wrestling video games for me when I was younger, and this one was clearly superior to the Muscle game. Muscle was awful. Still is, in fact. It is bad. Pro Wrestling, in retrospect, is not that much better. It's okay. I mean, it's definitely a black box title. You can see that this is something that was set up to really show what the NES was capable of, even though they didn't quite exactly know what the NES was capable of yet. But there's some positive things here. Like, the classic characters in the game are fantastic. I do enjoy kind of the gameplay of it, where as simplistic as it is, it still works. Like, it still feels like a pro wrestling experience. I do understand now, like, knowing what I know about the experience of pro wrestling, that what I thought was a problem when I was a kid of the 20 count being outside of the ring is actually, those are Japanese rules. You do have a standing 20 count to be outside of the ring. And it's, you know what, it's fun. There's definitely some flaws here. Like, it is, at the end of the day, not the most strategic game in the world, and it's kind of a button masher, a glorified button masher, in fact, but there's good stuff here. There's a good set of bones underneath what's being built here, and I enjoy it. What about you? Do you enjoy pro wrestling? Let me know. Now that one, I know I enjoy, or at least I did. So it could be the opposite of what happened with Pictionary, but yeah, it's one of those things. I love getting stuff like that. Like, it's fun. And it's a neat thing to add to the collection, right? Like, it's a classic black box game, games I constantly skip over at conventions that I don't think of picking up for myself because they'll always be there. So getting something like that is new, it's different, it's fun. Next up, we have an N64 title. I'm going to find out together what that is. I actually just recently added some new N64 games to my collection, and I'll show those off in a pickups video later. Probably next month. I think this month's pretty well packed, but ready? 3, 2, 1, N64. We have... I got nothing. Top Gear Overdrive. Oh, that's a killer. You see that box art? That's actually pretty cool. I like that. That car has teeth. Let's take a look now at Top Gear Overdrive on the N64. I do love a good racing game, and Top Gear Overdrive is a really good racing game. First off, really love that it utilizes the expansion pack, and it can use high-resolution graphics, which I think is fantastic. The game looks really solid for a game from 1998 that was kind of in the infancy of 3D racing games. It works really well. The track layouts are really fun. The physics in the game are well done. There's shortcuts everywhere you go, so as you're driving, you're going to be able to find your way through these different tracks to make the game easier for you. Now, I'm bad at this game, but I want to keep playing it because I really like the kind of core concept that's involved here, because they really do make a solid playing racing game here. Also to be noted is the soundtrack to this game, because it's done by a band called Grindstone, which I discovered when I was doing some research on this right up here to give you the review. And I think it's really cool because I thought it was Alice in Chains, and it's not. It's a band called Grindstone, and that's all I know about them is they did the soundtrack to this game. It's really fun, though. For a console that is well known for its racing games, and that is kind of notorious for how many racing games it has, this one is pretty impressive to me. Like, it's no Beetle Adventure Racing, it's no Diddy Kong Racing or anything like that, but for kind of that, like, B-tier racing level, Top Gear Overdrive is a good, solid pick. Fun. Love getting N64 games. It's a console I didn't collect a lot for when I was younger, so it was one that I didn't own until a couple of years ago. So I'm kind of a newbie to most N64 games, so excited to have that one. And now last but not least, this is a GameCube title. We've got the notch right there. I have not seen anything. We will take a look now in the box to make sure there's nothing else there. Boom! Just some bubble wrap, and everybody loves bubble wrap. Bubble wrap is always useful, especially this time of year, am I right? So GameCube game now, 3, 2, 1, we have Need for Speed. Hell yeah. NFS Hot Pursuit 2. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Complete in box. Gotta love that. Complete in box with the GameCube instruction book. Let's take a look now at the cart, or the disc, make sure that looks okay. That's looking pretty nice. And there's the disc art on the top. All right, let's take a look now at Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, complete in box on the Nintendo GameCube. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 is one of those really interesting racing or driving titles that kind of bridges the gap between what the original Need for Speed series was and what the Need for Speed series has become, because it's still very much a kind of heavier racing game, if that makes sense. Like, the cars feel very heavy, where modern Need for Speed titles, they feel very light, they feel very fast, and I think there's a really interesting kind of like evolution of the series that you can see definitely at play here in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Now, not to be discounted is the actual overall title here, because this is a really, really fun game. It's really well designed. The courses are really well made. The physics can be a little bit frustrating. You can get really squirrely really fast if you're hit by a police car or you hit something on the track. And that can be a little bit frustrating because you can be on a good line and then all of a sudden you're just off because you happen to get tapped or you had to swerve slightly to get around a corner. It's a little bit frustrating, but that's okay, because once you get used to it, it becomes a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more easy to kind of understand where you need to go with it. One of the things I also really like about this is you're also able to play as a police officer, so you don't have to just play as a typical road racer. You get to play as a police car to try to pull over other cars as well, which I think is really neat. Solid game, really fun, very pleased to have this one, and just a beautiful condition complete in box title from VGM. Very excited to have this. Huge Need for Speed fan. Very, very excited to have that one. Very excited to add that to the collection. And this is a good box. There's some exciting stuff in here. So we're going to go right now. We're going to head over to price charting. We're going to get everything added to my collection. We're going to find out if what I put into this box financially, if I came out ahead, behind, or if I'm right on the money. I'll be right back.
And nothing is going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me.
And I'm back, and this has been a good month. This is a very good month as far as value goes. Box value this month comes out to $51.97, which is pretty much right on board with what I pay. Let me know in the comments down below, what was your favorite game that I received this month? What game do you think I didn't look at favorably that you think I should spend a little more time with? And if there's anything in here you were surprised by, I'd love to hear that as well. If you're new here, I do one of these videos every month. I unbox and ship from Video Games Monthly. It's one of my favorite segments to do. I really enjoy doing them, and other people seem to enjoy them as well. And if this is your first time here, why don't you click that like button and subscribe? Stick around, hang out a while. I'd love to have you be here. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Until 2026, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.